What is up YouTube, and welcome to this Umbrella Academy video discussing the top 5 mysteries from Umbrella Academy Season 2, including just who the Sparrow Academy actually are. So there will be spoilers for the entirety of Season 2. Now Season 2 was a joy end to end, with it moving at a breakneck speed, and I did prefer it somewhat to the slower first season. I have a full ending explained video on my channel which you can actually check out. Now before we dive into the video, please do consider subscribing with notifications on if you enjoyed the video, and drop a like if you did like the content. Now let's jump in. In at number 1 is just what was the deal with the Sparrow Academy and how the hell is Ben alive? Yes, this was a superb twist which came out of nowhere, but also at the perfect time as we wrapped up the entirety of Season 1 and we're left with the repercussions of what happened thus far. Now, the group head back to 2019 and they're actually able to stop an apocalypse and actually have the opportunity to stop the first apocalypse they were trying to stop. Yes, it gets a bit muddled. They arrived the day after Vanya blew up the moon, but there ain't no Umbrella Academy and there never was. Instead, there is now the Sparrow Academy led by Ben, or at least a Ben, complete with his portrait, except this Sparrow Academy look younger than the 30-year-olds in the Umbrella Academy. Now, in the comics, the Sparrow Academy are as much of a mystery as they are in the TV show, with the comic actually having its own sort of cliffhanger, with the two teams facing off against each other, albeit they are a similar age. But this time, they are a bit different. Now, not much else is really known about them, other than they have some really cool suits, but Volume 4 of the comic is actually titled The Sparrow Academy, and that will most likely be fleshed out when that is released. And considering the fact there are no live gigs, I'm sure Gerard Way has a lot of time, or has had a lot of time, to work on that comic. The new team existing actually makes sense when we look at the rest of the show and the impact the time-travelling siblings had on their father. Number 5 was pursuing his father throughout, being stuck in the 60s Dallas, which came to a head when Hargreaves actually invited them to a tiki room dinner, which was a total disaster for the kids. It is revealed to him that they are his adopted children, and they all have powers and are here to stop the apocalypse and or save the world, as was the original mission statement. However, the family reunion did not go very well, and he ended up despising his future adoptive children and leaving in disgust not before having a drink with number 5. This was the seed for the Sparrow Academy, as he now knows what is going to happen in the future and can avoid adopting the children like this and the ones that he actually finds repugnant. This means he actually selected different children from those born on October the 1st, 1989, and I would be very curious to see if he actually gets Lila as well. Of course, he never actually met Ben, so he wouldn't know what he looks like, and considering Ben's powers are very powerful, he would want to select him, wouldn't he? This is why he is still alive. We saw the funeral for Ben as Hargreaves scolds his children for letting Ben die, but as it's a different team, he doesn't actually die. Steve Blackman, the showrunner, said that it's a different character, and I don't want to give anything more away, but it may not simply be the Ben we know. We don't know exactly how the woman across the world became pregnant, but this season saw something actually connected the weird alien planet flashback of Hargreaves to Vanya himself. So at number 2, what is the deal with Vanya giving Harlan his powers? Well, in episode 10 of last season, the love of Hargreaves passes away on an alien planet and he releases a weird orange energy. Now, when Vanya saves Harlan and later stops him from blowing up in the finale, there are some weird orange particles in the air. So it seems this could be the cause of why the powers existed. This orange energy could give people's powers similar to Genesis in Marvel's Inhumans. Of course, Hargreaves came to Earth well before 1989, and even in the 60s, he is trying to get to the moon. So I'm not saying him releasing the energy on the alien planet gave kids powers, but if this energy is the cause, then he probably engineered it so the energy would be dispersed and women would become pregnant, which is why and how he got to the kids right away and knew exactly who to adopt. This means that in the future, he actually knew how to not adopt anyone from the Umbrella Academy roster. Now, this leads us into question 3, as we saw Harlan survive, but he has powers after the final battle. So what does this mean? Of course, the only ones who have powers were those born in the same day of 1989, but a kid in the 1960s with powers would absolutely mess everything up, as he would no doubt have kids and the kids would have powers and it would carry on. Of course, he really couldn't actually control his powers, so this also makes him, again, very, very dangerous, sort of similar to Vanya, and the themes of this show carry on, much like the handler adopting a child similar to Hargreaves. I like how these themes spin out and evolve as it goes on. The Sparrow Academy and Umbrella Academy may need to come together to fight their first major supervillain. We haven't seen too much of the Academy fight a proper true villain, other than just one mission we've seen in a flashback, and Vanya, who was actually out of control. And on to number 4, with just what major interest does Hargreaves have in the dark side of the moon? He seems to have a big interest in the space race and did not want his experiments to be ruined or interrupted by Soviets landing on the moon. So why? The dark side of the moon has been a conspiracy hotspot for years, and not just an awful Transformers movie. Hargreaves sent Luther there to watch out for threats and send regular updates. There isn't much in the way of information, as the comic is also light on this topic as well of Hargreaves' past, other than revealing that he actually was an alien. But I expect that the apocalypse was the reason he built these academies, or not necessarily the apocalypse, but, well, the reason he wanted to save the world is because there might have been an incoming extraterrestrial threat. And lastly, at number 5, we have to wonder what was the deal with his secret room and what happened to the proto-robot mother. There had been a myriad of Easter eggs in his room, and this is a topic for a whole nother video which I might make, but it looks like these are not the only plans that he has, and he has plans for landing on the moon and future spaceships, and I expect his blueprint for stopping an extraterrestrial threat might be there. We know in the comics he actually imprisoned supervillains in another dimension, so maybe the threat is actually coming from the future and not space itself, and would make a bit more sense based on the source material. So when he says he wants to save the world, well, this could be what he is saving it from. Maybe this is actually where Ben channels his powers from, and why he is the constant across the two teams. But let me know what you think in the comments. Do you have any questions that you want answered in Season 3? And I'll be interested to see what you think. And please do hit a like down below, and please do subscribe with notifications on so you never miss a video. And I will see you soon, and goodbye.